Good morning, y'all, and welcome back to Apron Strings. It's Sunday morning really early, and I've got on my warm house coat because I didn't want to dress yet for church. But I'm going to make us some corn chowder. It's like 30 degrees outside. It's going to be colder than that this coming up week. So that just makes me want soup. I might have made this before. If I did, it's a long time ago, and it's one of our favorite soups. I was working at a little store in Cleveland one time years ago, a little gift shop, and a mutual friend of mine and the owner came in with a tray and with the cutest little mug things, and she had brought us soup for lunch, and I've been making it ever since. So that was in the 80s, so that tells you how long ago that was. So I'm going to get started, and the first thing I'm going to do is brown some sausage links. Now I'm just using Eckrich beef sausage. You can use whatever you want. You just want to cut it in little circles and brown it off real good and drain it. So that's the first step. So I'm going to get my sausage cut up, and then I'll get it in the skillet and brown it real good and put it on some paper towel. I want all the grease out of it, and then we'll get on to the next step. Okay, I'm just going to cut it in little circles about a little bigger than 1/4 of an inch. And I like to brown it till it's brown. I don't like to just kind of make it a little bit brown. I like to get a bite with that char on it myself. Wouldn't it be neat if I put it on the pit, smoked it, and then sliced it? That would be good, but I don't have time to do that. I'm trying to get this done for Sunday school. We're looking at some cold temperatures this week by Christmas. So there'll probably be some more soup coming up. That's my morning tea ready. It's steeped and ready to make. So I guess I'll finish this link and I'll pop over there and make my tea. And then I'll finish this up, and then I'll bring y'all back when I'm cooking it. How's that? I'm going to do this in batches. There was 3 of those links, or whatever you call them, in that package. And so I want all of it flat down in the skillet where it'll brown on both sides. So I'm going to do it in batches. I have dumped it all in here at one time before, but you just have to, I think it's more work that way. So I'm going to put it on the stove and let it start browning on about a medium heat. And I'm going to get the rest of this chopped. Then I've got to peel some potatoes. I've showed y'all my little peeler before, but I just love this little peeler because I can just lay my potato down and barely rake it over it, and it peels it, and you don't waste a lot of your potato. And if you get your fingers in the way, it wastes your finger. I'll get those little eyes. It has a little thing on it to get the eyes out. See this little circle on the end here? You just put it in the potato and circle it around, and it'll get them out if you aim it right. I usually just take the point of my knife and get them out. Okay, I got these potatoes. You know, potatoes are pretty high anymore. And Kroger always has a markdown bin. And they had, remember the other day when I canned potatoes, I had gotten them in the markdown bin? Well, these were 99 cents for a whole bag, so I've got a cheap meal today. I like bargains. Okay, y'all don't have to watch me do all of it. I'm going to peel the rest of them, and then I'm going to do this video in 2 parts. Y'all will see it all at once, but I'm browning my sausage. I'm going to get my potatoes cut up and covered in cold water. Then we're going to go to church, and then when we get home, I'm going to finish it, and that way the potatoes won't, the starch from them won't thicken the juice of the soup too much. So I'm going to, y'all see it all, but that's why I'm going to put them in a bowl of water instead of in, or maybe in a pot in water, instead of cooking them right now. I got my sausage all browned off. Some of it got a little browner, but I like it like that. And I've got my potatoes all cut up. I'm going to get them in this bowl and wash them. And then I'm going to put them in the pot that I'm going to cook them in and cover them in water and let them set until we get in from Sunday school, and then we'll finish this video. Okay, I've got my potatoes on to boil, and I put 2 carrots in there just because I have a bunch of carrots. And I've got about 2 or 3 tablespoons of chicken better than bouillon, just to give it some extra flavor. And when the potatoes get soft, I'm going to add in my sausage that I browned earlier, and I always add milk to make it creamy. So when these get done, we'll do the next step and get this finished and on the table. Got to put some whole kernel corn and some cream style corn in it, and I'm going to whip up a batch of fried squeezy cornbread, we call it. So I'm fixing to get that ready to go, and we'll be ready to eat here shortly. Okay, I got it all boiling. I added 2 to 3 tablespoons of onion powder, and I put a teaspoon of garlic powder, and just about a half teaspoon of salt because the bouillon had salt in it. And as soon as this gets tender, we'll get on and put the rest of the stuff in it. I've got my oil getting hot over here. You can't see it, but right next door over there, I've got the oil getting hot to get my cornbread going. Now.
So what did I need to do? Put paper plates?
I've got boiling water in my kettle here, and I put just some in there. And I'm not measuring it, so y'all will just have to do it just like I'm doing it if you want to make some. I think on the video that I'll link, I did measure it where y'all would know how much. But I just thought since I was making the soup, I'd let everybody see how I made the cornbread. A little bit more. Probably close to 1.5 cups, but I'm not sure. And you want it very thick, so and you don't want it on the floor or out on the butcher block. I should have got my dough hook, shouldn't I? My Swedish dough hook out. You just want enough that you can wet all of the dry that's in there. And it gets, of course, real pasty and thick. And if you happen to get it too wet, add a little cornmeal, not flour. The flour is just for the binding purposes. You don't want it like regular cornbread. Some people don't even put flour, but I always add flour. But if you're going to have more of something, make more cornmeal. Okay, and then when you start getting it out to make your little corn pones, you need to have you a cup of cool water or something to dip your hands in, because it's hot as blazes apparently. I got my bowl of water. The way you can tell if it's hot enough, you put your little bitty piece of it in there, and if it sizzles and fries, and it is, it'll be ready to go. And I just get me a little bit, like I think will be enough to make my cylinder. And see, Mama would do it like that, and it leaves little finger places on it. And that's why it's called Squeezy cornbread. And it's one of our favorites. Now my son-in-law, he's gonna make it a little bit better. He added chopped onions to some he made, and it was good. He doctored them up a little bit. I got April and Lauren and Richard. Jordan's had to work today. And Troy here to eat, so I'm happy. I got eaters today. Okay, I'm going to get the rest of these made and in the skillet. And I'll show y'all what they look like all piled up on the platter. Okay, I got cornbread frying over here, and I got my soup right here, and I've added 1 can, because I'm making a big old pot, I'm going to add 2 cans of cream style corn, and I've got 2.5 to 3 cups of whole kernel, and instead of using cans, I used frozen whole kernel corn in here. And then when all of this gets done and heats real good, then I'm going to add some evaporated milk to it. And it'll be ready to go. Let me test my potatoes and see how soft the taters and carrots are. That's soft. That's soft. It's about ready. Let me turn these corn pones over here. These kids are laughing at me calling it corn pones. They never heard of that. They've only heard Squeezy cornbread. This is a lot quicker than making it in the oven, so that's a good thing to do. Okay, I'm going to turn my fire back up under my soup, and when it starts boiling, again, I will add my canned milk and simmer it about 3 or 4 minutes, and it'll be ready. I've got to add my sausage. I can go ahead and add my sausage to it. And add the milk last. Yep, some of them got dark, but they're good. I done tasted of some of the dark ones. That one's pretty dark. I'll taste it. This is one of the best soups, y'all. When Judy Johnson, my friend, brought it to us that day at the store, we were hooked. And it was a cold winter day. I don't remember what kind of bread she brought with it, but Lord, it was good. They say you eat with your eyes first. She had it on a tray. It was arranged so pretty. She's kind of good like that. Alright, I'm going to get me a tray and put some paper towel on it to put my cornbread in. When this heats back up, we'll add the evaporated milk to it, and then we can dish it up and have lunch this good, cool Sunday in Texas. Okay, I've added a can of evaporated milk, and I'm just going to bring it to a simmer, and it'll be ready to go. We can add fresh crushed black pepper when we put it on our plates, because everybody don't like that. But here's the corn chowder. The cornbread is brown and ready for me to, I like it good and brown and crunchy kinda, so I keep turning it to brown it on both sides. But I'm fixing to take this up and we're going to have lunch. Okay, y'all, here's our soup and cornbread. Here's the platter of cornbread. And here's the pot of soup. So we're fixing to sit down and have some lunch. Okay, for the cold weather that's hitting the whole world and Texas and everything, y'all got a good warm me up recipe to make. Let me know if you try it. I will link below. If I've made it before, I don't remember, but I will link the Squeezy cornbread, and I'll try to, in the description box, put about what I put in it, where you can make some like I made today. The good Lord bless and keep y'all, and I'll be back soon with some goodies.